Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I had so many calls and so many emails to return. I'm so sorry I haven't called you back and written to you. I spent the last 10 days dealing with things that sat on hold while I was away. And time constraints dictate that many of those things, have to be done. It's not that I'm ignoring or diminishing any of you in any way. So please forgive me, and I will continue to get back to all of you who were and are in touch. Well, this has really been quite a week, hasn't it? The shocking events that demonstrate man at his worst really were at the forefront of this week. Let's hope we rise above the smallness and evil in the hearts of man, whether it be because our egos get in the way and we think of ourselves ahead of others and manipulate, regardless of cost, or whether it's about preying on the sick and the sad and the lonely, things that we cannot possibly face the mirror of self over and expect not to have to answer. If only we took more time to face that mirror and to share our gratitude. And I also found out about a dear friend who got diagnosed with cancer and was gone 3 weeks later, leaving his 2 daughters in shock, still reeling from the death of their mother who died just 10 days earlier, and another who is right now knocking on heaven's door. But we never know when it is our turn, when our number is up. Only God knows. But whenever it is, it's at the right time. When our souls join the legion of souls in heaven, we take our place beneath the wings in the Garden of Eden. But this week was not all bad. Congratulations go to Brett and Arthur on their engagement. They listened to the song in their hearts that said they had found their missing half, the missing beat. That's one of the greatest songs on earth. We should all listen to that song more often. Now, sometimes we only see the opposites of life. The good, or the bad, the happy, or the sad. And when we do that, we often can be too harsh with ourselves or too armored towards others. You have to nurture yourself. You have to learn to be in touch with your heart and spend time with friends, with children, with pets, with those that open our hearts to tenderness. We have to tell those we love that we love them. And we can feel that tenderness and love when we come together, as we do wherever and whenever we are, dedicating time when we're a loving, forgiving, peaceful, and accepting of each other as we gather as a community. Like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit. The collective consciousness of seekers coming together and showing a faith, of love, a chavura, a fellowship. Expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So I invite you, and I invite you to invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Shevatavim Gam Yah. Hine Matov, how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. And it is as a community that we all come together, my friends. So let's continue to send out goodwill, fellowship, and love to the world, and give thanks for all that we actually do have. And it is that feeling of selfless sharing, of loving others, that sense of peace and happiness, for all that encourage us to share that special energy that we have, that energy of goodwill, of healing and renewal for everybody that you know, for everybody you think of, for the souls and spirits of everybody that, you've ever come in contact with. But we join forces, whether for people or for pets, to send out energy. It's for the earth, and it's the healing of the earth, the tikkun olam, that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. As we send out energy to try and make everybody just a little bit better. For Renata, who always seems to be starting over. For Bob, we're praying for you, my friend. For Scotty, for Barb, for Shelley, for Devora, and for all of you, because we all need renewal. Every one of us does. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each and every one of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. All of us, my friends. Every one of us needs it. This is the great prayer for healing. You know, it's done the world over in every synagogue for every service, which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow, to unite together, all of us. Well, this week's Parsha sees two sets of tablets, not one. And we also see the first open rebellion in this new forming nation. And we find the great mistranslation of the Torah that sets a stereotype of epic proportion. Now, there's been, mistranslations before, but this one's a beauty. And this is still held by many to this day to be a stereotype. As we read, ki tisa, when you add. Now, it's been referred to, by scholars as the small book of the covenant, because it duplicates material that we read, in chapters 21 to 23, which was called the Book of the Covenant, as well as some stuff from the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. Now, we just last week saw a request for donations that come from the heart, from the desire to share, to care, to participate. But now, we're going to see an ordered fee to be paid. Exodus 30:11. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, when you count heads for the Israelites according to their number, every man shall give ransom for his life to the Lord when they are counted. Whosoever undergoes the count from 20 years old, so they've got an age limit from 20 on up, they shall give the Lord's donation. The rich man shall not give more, the poor man shall not give less than half a shekel to atone for their lives. And you shall take the atonement money from the Israelites and set it for the service of the tent of meeting. So we have here, instead of everybody giving what they want because they want to, everybody has to pay, and everybody pays the same. It's for atonement, and it's for the treasury. It's a war chest for the tabernacle. Now this tells you how long religious institutions have been stockpiling for themselves. There's nothing new in that. Obviously, you cannot always depend on the kindness of strangers. But remember, friends, the role of the priests who have no land has to somehow be funded. And many think that they're the ones who wrote this section. Love them or hate them. They serve an important role. But they, too, must not let ego get in the way. Now, we're also introduced to two artists who will craft the items that were previously mentioned. And we never see or hear from them again. But it's an important lesson in life. It takes artistry, my friends, to be infused with formality for ritual and sacrament, and quite frankly, for everything in life. We have to have the artist and the scientist and mathematician working together hand in hand. Now, we just received the fantastic 10 rules for life, and they really are a great guideline to live by. But now God's going to emphasize the one that He emphasizes several times. So if you're too busy to follow the 10, forget about the 613. We're just going to deal with 10. So if you're too busy to follow the 10, do the one of them. It's God's choice. Exodus 31:12. My Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you for your generations. It is a sign. Now, it is a sign as the wording of a covenant. But the Sabbath was never presented as such. And many ask, why just the Sabbath? Out of all the commandments, because it is a sign between me and you. Friends, just as the sign of the Noahic covenant is the rainbow, and the sign of the Abrahamic covenant is circumcision, so the sign of the Israelite covenant at the mountain of God is the Sabbath. A sign participates in the thing that it symbolizes. And this sign combines the cosmic with history, and it makes time holy. The Sabbath, the one commandment that allows us to imitate God, the one designed to allow us to regenerate, to connect with family, community, to stop and smell the roses. The unification of sacred time in our own little sacred space. Now, how many of you fail to give yourselves that time? How many of you fail to give yourselves that time with your families, If you do nothing, take time and observe the Sabbath. You don't have to follow all the ritual. It's an amazing tribute to all that life stands for protection, for independence, for health, for happiness, the four corners to the square of life. And it gives you a chance to spend time with the ones you really care the most about. May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel the shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord. Keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long lives. May the Lord fill our Sabbath prayer for you. May God make you good mothers and wives. May He send you husbands who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen. Now that fantastic song from Fiddler calls for all the things that we ask God to do for us, for any and all of us. So try just once to take the break and reconnect on the personal level. Exodus 31:18. And He gave Moses, when he had finished speaking with him on Mount Sinai, the 2 tablets of the covenant, tablets of stone written by the finger of God. Well, here we have the first set of tablets talked about. They were written by God Himself. Now, these were the tablets to be housed in the ark, because we knew the ark was to be built to hold the tablets. And no one anticipated that they would be destroyed. And a second set gets made. And the second set will not be the same, and they're going to be dictated by God to Moses. But friends, put it in context. Here we are within 40 days of the Great Epiphany. Exodus 32:7. The Lord said to Moses, quick, go down. For your people that I brought up from Egypt has acted ruinously. They have swerved quickly from the way that I charged them. They have made them a molten calf and bowed down to it and sacrificed to it and said, these are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. 40 days? Really? With Moses gone? The people rebel. You say you want a revolution. Well, we all want to change the world. You tell me that it's evolution. Well, we all want to change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? See, we have the episode of the golden calf. Now, a lot of people wonder where this came from in the whole thing. And it really is a fantastic episode. And it's that great scene in the movie, and we've all seen the movie, where magic comes back. And Aaron claims that the calf manifested itself. He merely threw the gold in the fire, and out came the calf. Exodus 32:24. And I said to them, whoever has gold, take it off. They gave it to me, and I flung it into the fire, and out came this calf. Revolution comes quickly in a democracy. We're 40 days out. Now, some wonder whether this is all about Moses' leadership. Right? And there's been a lot written about that. And Moses turned, came down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant in his hand, written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other, they were written. Now that's fascinating also, because the description of what these tablets look like, not like the ones that Charlton Heston carried. Now, wouldn't it be something to see what these original two-sided tablets written by God looked like? I've always wondered. So Moses smashes them. And Moses stood at the gate of the camp and said, "Whoever is for the Lord, to me." And the Levites gathered round him, and he said to them, "Thus said the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword on his thigh, and cross over and back from gate to gate in the camp, and each man kill his brother, and each man his fellow, and each man his kin." And the Levites did according to the word of Moses, and about 3,000 men of the people fell on that day. Now notice it's the Levites who respond to Moses, and they go and they immediately kill 3,000 of their brethren. And current scholarship has taken an interesting view of the Levites, my friends, with good reason. They stand out in the Torah and they are treated differently. And they act like a Praetorian guard as the sword-wielding Levites show no mercy to friend or to kin. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look, what's going down? The sides were drawn, and the Levites went and took care of all of this. Exodus 34:1, and the Lord said to Moses, "Carve you 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I shall write on the tablets the words which were on the first tablets that you smashed." So God says he's going to rewrite them, but he doesn't. He's going to make Moses do it. Even Rashi had the view that, hey, you broke it, you're going to rewrite it. So God dictates it. Moses writes, and more instructions are given here in one small paragraph than you would expect, and probably more than were on the first one. "No molten gods shall you make." Now this might have been added because of the golden calf. "The festival of flatbread you shall keep." That's Passover. "Every firstborn is God's. 6 days you work." That's Sabbath observation. "A festival of weeks," Shavuot, and a festival of ingathering, Sukkot, are to be observed. So we have the 3 gathering festivals named. And strangely enough, it adds, "You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk." "And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. Bread he did not eat, nor water did he drink. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words." Now, I would still love to have seen the original 2-sided tablets, which God wrote. Exodus 34:29. "And it happened when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, with the 2 tablets of the covenant in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mountain, that Moses did not know that the skin of his face had glowed. And Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, and look, the skin of his face glowed. They were afraid to come near him." Now, the sense of the verb that they use here would seem to be had begun to glow, since the condition is a continuing one. It just goes on. And here is where the great mistranslation of the Bible occurs. Now, there's some question about the precise meaning of the verb karan, which occurs only here. Now, the Greek translation and the Latin Vulgate famously understood it to mean sprouted horns, which comes from the noun keren, meaning horn, which is a word used to describe the altar. And it's a virtual impossibility. So they've taken that noun, they've turned it into a verb, and it's impossible reading it that way because horns grow from the head, not from the skin of the face. Now, others imagine that the verb could indicate, like, horn-like toughness of the skin, or a kind of radiation burn after the exposure to the incredible divine, fire and power. It's all reaching. But as a result, we end up with the famous Michelangelo statue of Moses showing the horns on his head, and the stereotype continues. But it was the glowing of his face. Now, the people were so affected by the radiance of light that Moses then spent the rest of his life wearing a veil whenever he was in public, kind of like Phantom. which he removed only when talking to God. Now the spiritual warfare, flesh and blood breaking down. You either got faith or you got unbelief, and there ain't no neutral ground. The enemy is subtle, howbeit we are so deceived when the truth's in our hearts, and we still don't believe. Shine your light, shine your light on me. Shine your light, shine your light on me. Shine your light, shine your light on me. You know I just couldn't make it by myself. I'm a little too blind to see. He will shine forever, and the people will always be afraid. Yes, the world is sacred, my friends, and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light, and continue to shine. We all shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives, my friends. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and what's bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you might have wronged. And ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who have hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself? Can you accept other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power, it lies in your consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief as it applies in your life, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to the promised land. You're being watched out for, so always be kind. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Do not get caught in fear. Forgiveness comes from acceptance, and that brings peace. And peace, my friends, will last forever. So enjoy your week, and remember that Purim is coming up pretty soon. The great dress-up affair. And do not turn away from what you fear. Look it in the eye. Face your fear. It will fall away of its own. It always does. Those who have seen your face draw back in fear. I am the mask you wear. It's me they hear. My spirit and our voice in one combined. The phantom of the opera is there inside your mind. My friends, continue to share the blessings you've been given. Share the love. Have a fantastic week. Thank you for welcoming me back, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.